From the Dungeons of Morningstar, I'm Clint.
And I'm Stretch, and this is Prevailing Strange. Welcome back to Prevailing Strange, and this is the segment Our Week in Review, where we cover the content that we've checked out this week. And what have you...
You're going to hear us talk about it.
You're going to hear us talk about it. What have you checked out this week, buddy?
Not much, man.
Not much?
I've watched Fall Guy today, which was just absolutely epic. Again.
Again.
We actually, Ali was tattooing someone who was on set. So Tommy, her client, was actually a background actor.
Yeah, okay.
So he was said like he was in one of the big suits and he had to stay on set for a whole day in like scorching heat.
Yep.
And just sitting there talking to him about it, hearing about it. It was pretty exciting. And Fall Guy's still one of my it's a top tier film. And Ryan Gosling still can shit on my chest. I asked him for Ryan Gosling's phone number. He doesn't have it, which is a shame because I'd like his phone number. And I'd just send him a picture of my chest with a target on it. Positive.
We talked about Annihilation last week. Did you?
I haven't had a chance because a mate of mine named Stretch has basically told me that if I didn't watch this show that he'd end our friendship. In case you haven't paid attention in previous episodes, it's called Full Metal Alchemist.
How you going?
Look, it's not how I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's very Pokemon-esque, like it's aimed at children. It is. You've got a kid who skitzes out every time someone calls him short.
Yeah, and there is comedy to it.
There is some blood and gore sometimes. The first time I sat down and watched it, I was with Logan, and it was just the opening scene where he's doing the transmutation, and I was sitting there and watching. I'm like, oh, I can't watch this with Logan, but I could if I wanted to.
Okay.
It's not overly graphic, but there's parts of the story that, like last night, I was watching it and I got a bit emotional.
It gets heavy, man.
It's getting there. Like I'm at episode 36, so where teachers just sort of come in and she's like, I used a transmutation human. I used human alchemy when I was pregnant, and this is the homunculus that come about.
Yep.
And to hear how Al talks about his brother and how important his brother is to him. And there was a couple of other episodes where, and it's all Al, man. I've got a real, I'm more attached to Al than anyone else. Armstrong is another favourite character. He's got the shittest haircut. Mace died in episode 25, and I was getting a bit attached to him too, like just how excited he was to be a dad and just that sort of shit. And then I got to go home to my family, and then he's fucking dead. Spoiler alert. So there are bits that are heavy. I am enjoying it. I find myself, it's very, they're going here, they're going there, but they're not, there's a lot of time jumps, but they don't say they're time jumps.
Yep.
So I find myself sort of going, hang on a minute. And then it takes me a minute to reset because I'm not a smart man. And I get it. I get your attraction to this and your affinity for this. I really wish it was more aimed at adults.
We'll get to that, but I think
I've only got, what have we got, 30 episodes to go.
Yeah, I think the reason I wanted you to watch this first is it's pretty well-rounded.
Yeah.
It has tropes of anime. So I sent a meme to a friend the other day about how all anime has its anime shit.
Yeah.
with, blood out the nose, the kind of weird faces, the fucking stupid shit that goes on. There's different levels of that throughout plenty of different anime. This is like mid-tier, somewhere in the middle. You can get serious stuff. You can get ridiculous stuff. Pardon me. I think this is just a good introduction.
Right, okay.
And if you get through it and you want more, I've got heaps more.
I understand what they're trying to do. And another thing, it's the whole Super Mario trope. Ooh, Princess Peach is in another castle with the Philosopher's Stone. Oh, there's always a fake Philosopher's Stone. Okay, all right. And then you got the 7 deadly sins as well. So you got envy, gluttony, and all that sort of shit. Yeah. So there's a lot of balls in the air at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it to start wrapping up. Mm-hmm. Like there was a scene in episode 27, I think, where they were sitting there and he's like, one of the bad guys who's he's in a mech as well, and he's like, your brother, you're not real, you're not Al. Mm-hmm. Your brother created you to fill a hole. And he's like, no, he's my brother. He loves me. He wants to help me. And he goes, no, mate, you're just a mech. You're nothing.
Yeah.
You think you're Al? You're not.
Yeah.
And just that existential overcoming of that, it hit the right notes, man.
Yeah. There's subjects that it touches on that, if you're like, you could probably watch it with a kid. But if your kid's switched on enough to kind of pick up on things, they're going to be asking some questions, man. Yeah. And that's why, it
was, look, you were right. I'm enjoying it. Mm-hmm. I am. But like you said, it is getting heavier and heavier. But I'm still attached to Al.
Yeah.
He's my character.
Oh, Al is great. Al is one of the backbones.
Yeah.
But like I said, when you first said that Al was your favourite, Ed gets better as he becomes more kind of compelling because he's complex. He may be silly, stupid, kind of like short-tempered, whatever. But what he's trying to accomplish
is a big thing.
And
another character who I found was really compelling. Mm-hmm. He is now a homunculus, but he's always whispering like this, and his daughter was killed because of something that he did, and now he is a chimera. Mm-hmm. It's like off-putting as shit. Everybody's talking like this, and oh my God, and he's like, I don't know why you're doing this. It's like, fuck off. Get out.
Yeah.
But yeah, enjoying it, man. I'm enjoying it. Again, this is the first anime I've ever watched in its entirety. I'm going to finish it. Mm-hmm. I've watched bits and pieces of Pokemon. I've watched bits and pieces of other things. But when it comes to manga, I've only read one manga in its entirety, and it was Bleach.
Right.
And that, to me, I'm comparing it to Bleach, and I shouldn't be. Bleach is a completely different story.
Yeah. Bleach I enjoyed up until – I never read the manga. Up until Chad, they changed the voice actor.
Right. I haven't watched the anime.
I stopped watching it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
It just drove me nuts because they didn't even try and make him the similar voice.
Right.
Just completely changed him.
When I originally was given Bleach by Joshy Brennan, who's a tattooist I worked with when I was at Tattoos on Beaumont, he gave me Bleach, and it was off-putting because I read the first chapter and it was the end. And I'm like, what the fuck? Manga's written backwards, man. So I was like, okay, that's a new thing.
Yeah.
Quick question. Mm-hmm. Last week I told you about anime in Deadpool's head. Yeah. Have you given it any thought?
Not at the moment.
Damn it.
Maybe one day when we open a Patreon and people pay us to not go to work.
Because I don't know whether you've noticed, AI is popping off. Mm-hmm. I'm following a couple of Instagram pages. One's called Stormtroopers POV, and one's called The Big Yeti.
Right. You sent me a few of those.
Okay. The Stormtroopers POV one is just like the Stormtroopers walking around with a selfie camera going, oh, we're just looking for these two robots on Dagobah. We don't know where we're at. Oh, my God, I'm lost. And it's hilarious. You know that emoji? Mm-hmm. That's not prayer hands.
No.
It's a high five. Mm-hmm. I've sent those to people that have heard bad news. I thought they were prayer hands.
I think a lot of people do think they're prayer hands, but no.
High five, bro.
Congratulations.
Shit.
Heard
you had to put your rabbit down.
That's like I read this Reddit post of their mum, this person's mum, end everything with LOL.
Lots of love.
Lots of love? Yeah, no. Laugh out loud. Sorry to hear about your loss. LOL.
Yeah.
So good.
I'm going to let you drop this next thing that we've both watched this week.
Yes. I actually watched it today because I wanted it to be fresh.
I watched it today as well.
Yeah. Killer of Killers.
For the fourth time.
For the fourth time.
I've watched it 4 times this week already.
It was sensational.
Top tier, man. Mm-hmm. Top tier. Dan Trachtenberg, please, sir, take a tip of your fucking enormous cap.
Oh, yeah. Which kind of era was your favourite of the 3?
We have to go the sword.
Yeah, definitely. Fucking
feudal
Japan.
I've wanted to see one for years, man. I wanted to see that before I seen Prey.
Yeah.
However,
if you haven't seen
Killer
of Killers,
dropping spoilers,
bro.
We're dropping spoilers.
Sorry. Come back. At the end?
Dog! When he's handed that flintlock, and I'm like, hang on. Where'd that come from?
That's in Predator 2
It was in Predator 2.
Mm-hmm.
That flintlock was given to Nira.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nira?
In Prey.
At the end of Prey.
Yeah.
She takes it from the French.
Yeah.
That fucking flintlock has been more places than anyone.
So this Yautja homeworld, is this the Badlands homeworld?
I don't know, dude, because it looked quite Badlandsy.
Well, you've got the big bad general.
How good did he look, dude, with the spines coming off the top of his head?
Yeah, looks sick. He's in the trailer for Badlands.
Is he?
Yeah.
I haven't watched Trail for Badlands.
You have. We watched it together. Remember?
No, we haven't.
Yeah, we have. Remember Ella Fanning's character fucking turns off? She's a fucking...
That's an alien, bro.
No, dude. That's in the Badlands trailer.
No, it
and
wasn't.
she is a fucking synthetic from Alien.
No, wasn't that in the Alien TV show we watched that?
Nah, bro. No. That's the Badlands. Remember with the young Yautja?
Oh,
and that
yeah.
big thing comes out? I think
yeah.
it is the thing that they fight in the fucking Colosseum.
Well, this is what... Now, don't get me wrong. The Bullet was my least favourite episode.
Yep.
However,
they needed somebody to fly the fucking thing.
But this is the thing, right? It pissed me off. It was the whole Will Smith of it all. Oh, Will Smith, you fought against one in the thing, so you know how to fly. That's the biggest stupid trope I've ever seen. Oh, I fought one of these in the sky, I know how to fly. No, you don't, dickhead. What if it's got some neural interface that you have no idea about?
Well, that's the thing, is they're a fucking bipedal humanoid creature. There's, you assume there's going to be some kind of similarities across fucking
Does that mean a
race?
orangutan can drive a fucking car?
No.
Can it fly a plane?
Well, it's never it's never flown anything of its own.
Shut up. But
if chimps were getting around in gliders of their own technology, one might be able to figure out a plane.
Maybe. Dude, the fight scenes in that movie, we're going to call it a movie.
It was a movie, yeah.
Are sensational.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord, dude.
Yeah.
I want more. Yeah. Dude,
we're getting more with
Dan Trachtenberg. Just everybody. Who's the studio that's doing Predator? Is it Universal?
I'm not sure, but they're doing it right.
Whoever it is, just sign Dan Trachtenberg to an exclusive fucking contract and let him do whatever he wants with Predator. Just give him all the money and come back to when you got us something.
I'm pretty happy that I left Prey to watch only a couple of weeks ago. Prey.
Yes, sir.
Killers. We've got Badlands coming out in a couple of months.
Yes, sir. Dude, how good was it seeing her at the end in that capsule?
Yeah.
Now, what I was looking for after I seen her was Arnie in there as well.
Yeah, well, are we going to get her?
Could you get Arnie come back? They did it in Terminator.
Yeah, I don't know. Because the world looks very similar to what they were
in that
on
end,
that
in Killer of Killers.
Yeah, the Colosseum kind of. Are we going to see the characters that escaped? One Japanese samurai and was he Hispanic? Spanish fucking pilot. Are they gonna turn up in the Badlands?
Well, the Shield Maiden is still alive. She's not dead.
She's frozen, yeah. put on ice.
Dude, I'm pumped, man. And that's the thing. This is the thing. We're speculating about it, and that's the best part.
Yeah.
Excitement is just. I'm pumped, man. I'm so excited for it.
What about the skull that the general's standing on in the Colosseum? How big must have that thing been for him to have killed it, and it's a trophy? It's fucking sick, man.
The scale of the Yautja, is that how we say it?
Yautja?
Yautja?
Yeah.
The scale of them, they were really big.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Some of them weren't so big.
Whereas in the first Predator, he was he was a petite king. Arnie was bigger than him.
Yeah, in size-wise. But, like, we have seen different sizes. Yeah. Like the one that they dragged out, they cut his tentacles or whatever they are off.
And
dreadlocks. He was a skinnier cast. Like, yeah, we've talked about it. I'll say it again. I do like that there's variation in these characters.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
I was so it was like every couple of seconds there was a scene where I'm like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't go away. It didn't stop. Even after a fourth watch. It doesn't stop.
It's funny because Predator's never been my favourite. The Yautja have never been my favourite. Never been a big fan of them. Didn't really like the Predator movies back in the day. Watched them, enjoyed them. But like I said, I've always been an Alien fan over.
I'm opposite.
Yeah. These guys, they're fleshing out the lore. Mm-hmm. They're becoming way more interesting to me, I am liking them a lot.
And that's what I'm hoping with the Alien TV show, that it shows me something from the Xenomorphs that I haven't seen yet. Show me some more lore. Great, perfect.
Well, I mean, they tried to show more lore in Prometheus and stuff like that, and that kind of, a lot of people didn't like that. But I fucking loved Prometheus. I loved Covenant. I loved them all.
I think Prometheus just showed me more of the human side than the Xenomorph side.
Yeah.
I didn't. Prometheus to me wasn't an alien film. It was more of an antithesis to the human race. It was more of that, the creation of Earth.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm so pumped for this next installment of Badlands.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped.
I like the crop circles behind the
mechanic shed.
Behind the mechanic shed, that was pretty fucking cool. So more review stuff. I finished the Annihilation.
Okay.
The novel. I'll be interested to see how you go when you watch it.
Watch the show.
I definitely think it's better to watch the show first.
I'm always that way.
And read.
I'm always that way.
Yeah, it's because it's visually spectacular to watch.
Really?
Yeah, but they do change some things up from the book to the movie, which I'm fine with that because they're almost two separate things.
Yeah.
But there's very similar beats. But you get that picture in your head of what everything looks like.
Mm-hmm.
This Area X. Yeah, very, very cool.
Yeah, right. So I think that's all I've watched.
I've only watched Killer of Killers this week. Read Annihilation, and I'm halfway through book 12 of He Who Fights with Monsters.
Right. Okay.
Thoroughly enjoying it. Can't wait for it to be over, but at the same time, not looking forward to the wait to the next book.
So, right, okay. That it is, well, and the fact that they pump out books as quick as they are these days, and when we say pump out, they're like doing 2 books a year.
Well, so Travis Deverell, the author, who goes by Shirtaloon on Royal Road, that's where he releases...
What's Royal Road?
So Royal Road's kind of like, you know how fan fiction gets released online?
Yeah.
So Royal Road's more for people who want to make original stuff and release it online to gain... Like, a lot of books gain traction on there. That's what happened with Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Yeah, right.
It was released online, kind of chapter by chapter, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever. People read it to the point where it got that much traction that somebody's went, we'll release that for you as a book.
Well, it's funny you say that because my dear friend Kira...
Oh, yes, she wrote a book,
She's written several books. Now... When we say she's wrote books, she's written these. She got drunk one night and decided to It's not here, right? Stall.
Are these original books? Are they fan fictions?
Nope.
Are they?
No.
Are they spicy books?
No, they're not spicy books. No? Oh, they are actually.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's on. Here we go. On Goodreads, it's got 4.6 stars, and it's got 2,693 reviews.
Nice.
She.
What's the book called?
Stall.
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 Right.
It's on. What is that book that she releases it on? It's a free. It's again where you.
There's a few of these sites.
Yeah.
That you can get books from.
I can't remember the name of it. Where's she done it?
We'll figure it out later. I'll put it.
Yeah, but
here.
she dude, she's got millions. And when I say millions, it's not one. The last time I checked, there was 3 million reads on this thing.
Yeah.
And she has the way that she has. I've read a couple of chapters of this book, and it's absolutely incredible. And she goes, I just got drunk one night and write.
Yeah.
And so she just writes a chapter every month.
Yeah.
And puts it up.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So good.
Yeah, 'cause I think self-publishing is a very big thing these days, where a lot of authors would have to shop their book around to different publishing houses and either not get picked up or picked up. Like, there's so many stories of authors who have become big time, who have shopped it around to that many, and it's just been, somebody's picked it up on a whim, or it's been an accident that it's been picked up, and they've become one of the biggest fucking authors in the world.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to give them the time. Well, now you've got this platform where people can write. They can either, get their chops by fucking releasing stuff that might be subpar to what they eventually release.
Yeah.
Or they can be like Travis Deverell or Matt Dinnerman, who did He Who Fights with Monsters and Dungeon Crawl Carl, respectively. Gained so much traction that they're just like, okay, we'll release this to people who want to.
Well, like I said to Kira, I don't know how you get on Audible and shit, but I'd love to see. That's something I want to do. I've always since I was in high school, I've wanted to be sort of like an actor or a voice actor or something like that. So I'm like, I'd love to narrate your book, dude, because it's about a serial killer,
right?
But the initial story of how she started writing it was fucking hilarious. That's something you'd have to read the book for, because I'm not going to blast her on this, but.
Well, man, a lot of these people who read books, like narrate books, they do it from their home in their closets.
Yeah. Well, I still haven't come out of the closet yet, so. I'd like to, dude, I'd love to do it. And I talk.
Yeah.
So much. So, it'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And it's based in, her book is based in Melbourne.
Right, yeah.
So my Australian accent wouldn't be out of place.
Well, so He Who Fights with Monsters, the main character is Australian.
Yeah, right.
And the guy that narrates it is Australian. So there's a lot of comedic beats that I think you and I would get that international audiences might not.
Yeah.
Because he's a smart-ass Australian.
Yeah, right. But apart from reviews, man, that's all I got for you. Actually, stop. Rachel... Because I'm taking Rachel down to the Titanic exhibition next week for a birthday, and she's been watching everything Titanic. But there's a new documentary on Netflix about the Titan submersible.
Yeah, my brother was watching it, and
bro,
yeah,
bro, how this guy wasn't arrested, I do not know.
Yeah. They've
released...
He just kept pushing him, and engineers were quitting.
Dude, they released the fucking sounds of this carbon fibre tube going down. It got to 3,000 metres, and it sounded like it was just fracturing, dude. You know how you get an aluminium like this? And he's like, oh, we're good. We're fine.
I've seen the...
Bro, you weren't fine.
I've seen the excerpt of his wife up on the ship, and they're interviewing her as he's down there and doing this descent, his final descent, and they're listening in and whatever, and they hear this particular pop, and she's like, what was that? and you see like the worry on her face, but then she kind of covers it up, and the people interviewing her keep on talking. But that was the exact moment that he was just gone.
Dude, there was an underwater observation area, 600, I can't remember the exact miles, but I think it was like 600 miles, I think, away. And it's just like...
It heard it. Yeah, right.
It picked up the implosion from 600 miles away. Horrific. The fact that 4 lives were extinguished, and you can't blink as fast as they were extinguished. But the amount of shit that this guy just ignored, man, and he put 3 other lives
at risk. Yeah.
Fuck you, dude. You deserve to rot in hell. There was a kid on that submersible, man. He was told by university engineers. He was told, I forget the big firm, but it was, dude, he was told, don't do this. 50 unmanned to that depth. Do 50 and then talk. He did 5 manned. He didn't listen, man. He sacrificed so many people's lives. There was a guy who was a social media influencer who went out, and he was going to go down to the Titanic. And he went out to the ship, and for the 6 days he was on the ship getting ready to go down, it was shit weather. So he's like, spewing. So they did a little dive. I think it was 50-meter dive he went down. And he's got photos on his social media of him with his feet up on this porthole. Like just, look at me underwater, blah, 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 in the submersible. Yeah, having a great time, going down to see the Titanic. Boo. They interview that guy. And it's quite literally he left that ship 2 days prior to them going down. And, mate, he just burst into tears. And he's like, the only bit that's on the bottom of the ocean that they collected was where he had his feet. And he's like, why? Why was I allowed to live?
Wow.
Horrific, dude. So sad. And just hearing this carbon fiber splintering. Chilling. Horrendous. Horrific. Yeah. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Fair in the ass with a pineapple, man.
On that note, do you want to send us out?
Sorry, everyone. That's how we're going to go. Well, cheers for being with us on this segment of Prevailing Strange. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the funny thing, ask questions, tell us about your submersible stories. We'll see you in the next one. Love, peace, and chicken grease.
Bye.